Look at that Ahsoka. That is so good. Hello everybody, welcome back into Jar's Toy Emporium. My name is Jacob, and yes, you guys already know what day of the week it is. It is New Comic Book Wednesday. Now we are heading to the comic book shop. It is our lunch break. You guys know the drill like I always say, but I think this is another pretty epic week for comics. I think this week is headlined by Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2, which I'm super stoked to continue to read that storyline and continue to see where it goes. It was such an awesome issue number 1 that I know issue number 2 is probably going to be pretty spectacular as well. But as you guys can see, we are getting a little bit of rain today. The last few Comic Book Wednesdays have been absolutely gorgeous, but we probably did need a little bit of rain. It's been so sunny and beautiful. I'm not even going to let this get me down because today is a fantastic day as always. New Comic Book Wednesday. Let's get to the comic shop. Back at Gotham City Limit. So checking out the new comic book table, the first thing that catches my eye is this facsimile of the Amazing Spider-Man with the appearance of Punisher. Always cool to see those reprints. And then these two Amazing Spider-Man covers I thought were awesome. You guys know I love the Scotty Young variants, but Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2. Super stoked about this. Can't wait to get home and tap into it, read it, see how the story continues. And we also have Ultimate Black Panther issue number 13. So anytime you have 2 Ultimate comics in 1 week, that's a pretty solid week. We also have Ahsoka issue number 8 here. This Takashi Okazaki variant is incredible, so you know I got to pick up that, but the other covers look great as well. And then we also had Your Friendly Neighborhood Spiderman. Now, I've been loving the animated series over on Disney+. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you go check it out. This side of the comic book table really didn't have too much for me. I was more so excited about the stuff on the other side, but they did have a few issues of Bug Wars issue number 1 if you are in the Jacksonville area and still need to pick up one of those. Moving over to DC, nothing for me from DC this week. They did still have some of the Jim Lee variants of Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And they did have a couple of other comics I know people are really into, like Nightwing, Question All Along the Watchtower. Stuff I want to get into at some point, but just currently not in my pull list. I'm trying to keep it light as we get into the new year. Don't want to pick up too many things and get too distracted. Moving over to Image, G.I. Joe issue number 4. Super pumped about this one as well. Energon Universe is amazing. They did have Godzilla Heist here. They had some Star Wars stuff, and they also had Doom Academy. I'm going to pass on Doom Academy this week, but I'm pretty happy to see it on the shelf. Alrighty guys, we are back in the car. We just got done in the comic shop. We have a pretty awesome haul of stuff, but we're going to head back home today. I'm actually working from home. They're doing some like fire inspections at our apartment. But anyway, a great week of comics already. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the stuff I picked up. They had a variant there that I was shocked they had, so super excited to show off that, but let's head on home. Alrighty guys, so we are back in the studio, and as you guys can see, we have some amazing comics. Pretty solid stack here. Pretty similar to last week. I probably would give the edge a little bit to last week. Last week had some big hits, and I'm still saying last week might be the best Comic Book Wednesday we've gotten in 2025 so far, but this might be a pretty close second. We got some really great stuff in here, so let's get into it. So starting off with Marvel, because I think the headline of the week has to be Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2. Issue number 1 was amazing, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it probably till the day I die. The Ultimate Universe is incredible. Now, I've never read any Wolverine comics, so this has been my first exposure to Wolverine in comic form. Like, I know a lot of his origin, I watched the movies and stuff like that, but reading him in comic and kind of understanding the character a little bit different, but with some twists and turns that maybe people that have read comics before aren't accustomed to, but to me, they kind of feel really natural, I think is really cool. So, been enjoying Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2, and then the second comic that we have from Marvel is actually Ultimate Black Panther issue number 13. Now, this cover I really like. I dig this cover a lot, and I really don't understand a lot of the hate behind the Ultimate Black Panther stuff. Like, I get it might be a little slower, and I am biased. It did have a lot of Moon Knight stuff in there, so I really appreciate that, because Moon Knight's one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, but I've really been enjoying it. I don't think there's been an Ultimate series that I haven't really liked, and I know the people that are complaining about it aren't necessarily saying they don't like it. It's just a little slower for them, and they might want to wait till it comes out in trade paperback form, and I get all those things, but for me, it has been definitely worth picking up every week. Oh, every week it comes out. So Ultimate Black Panther issue number 13 and Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2 for our Marvel pickups this week. So I completely just lied to you guys. We do have one more Marvel pickup this week, and that is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spiderman issue number 3. Now, if you guys are not watching the show over on Disney+, highly recommend it. It did start off a little bit slower. Those first 2 episodes, I was like, if it kind of keeps this pace, I'm going to watch it, but I don't know that I'm really going to enjoy it and love it. They definitely picked it up. It has been awesome. And so it's been really fun reading the comics kind of coinciding with the show being out. And I think the last 2 episodes just released of the show. They did a really weird release date with this where they did 2 episodes on the release date, and they did 3 episodes the next 2 weeks of drops, and I think the season finale dropped the last 2 episodes. So pretty quick series, like kind of wrapped it up in like a month, which they could have definitely let it go on a little bit longer, but nonetheless, I'm super excited to watch that. I haven't had a chance to see how it wraps up, but yeah, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. If you guys haven't watched the Disney Plus show, highly recommend it, and then maybe it might be worth going to pick up the comics afterwards. Swapping gears over to Star Wars, we do have Ahsoka issue number 8. Now, David Nakayama has just been absolutely knocking it out of the park with all of the Ahsoka covers. They look phenomenal each and every time that we get a release for these. Super excited. I believe this is the last issue, so that's a little bit sad. I always enjoy picking up the live action show comics whenever they do come out. I'd love to get like Skeleton Crew. We did get that one Kelnaka Acolyte book, which I wouldn't mind if they continue to release those and things like that to give us a little bit more backstory. I think it definitely would have helped Acolyte, but nonetheless, I think this is the last issue. I might need to look that up, but super cool cover here. But I think easily my cover of the week is gotta be this variant cover of Ahsoka issue number 8. Now, this is by Takashi Okazaki, and this looks incredible. I mean, guys, look at that Ahsoka. That is so good. Now, he actually has done an issue for every single, or a cover for every single issue that has released, and they all look phenomenal. Now, this is the only one I ever saw at my local comic shop. I believe they were kind of exclusive there for a while, but I think maybe this issue, they might have started letting everyone get their hands on it. So I might have to go back at some point and pick up the rest of them because they look phenomenal. If you guys haven't seen them, definitely go look them up on Google, Instagram. I'm sure you could find them on there. But yeah, super stoked that I at least got one of them, and look at how cool that is. Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be anything competing for cover of the week for me, but this one is phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal, we're going to hop on over to Image Comics, and we have G.I. Joe issue number 4. Now, this is a very great cover, as you guys can see. Look at how awesome that looks. I love the blue lighting. I love everything about it. I love the Energon universe, and so I'm super excited to get into G.I. Joe issue number 4. I've been loving everything that has to do with the Energon universe. I've said that to you guys a million times, so I sound like a broken record. But if you just wanted to pick up one of them, I think G.I. Joe has been a very solid individual read that I think a lot of people would really enjoy, and probably a thing most people would have like a connection to. I feel like more people maybe connect to G.I. Joe than Transformers, and definitely Void Rivals, but I love them all, so definitely pick up G.I. Joe. If you're kind of looking for something a little new that you want to not necessarily dive super deep into, but if you do enjoy it, you have a lot more other stuff to read that connects the stories all together. So G.I. Joe issue number 4 for our first Image book. And then our second Image book has been another thing that I've been enjoying whenever they release, and that is Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. Now, these covers have always been good, and I believe issue number 2 actually might have won my cover of the week when it came out the last time, but this one is very good, and if it wasn't for that Takashi Okazaki Ahsoka issue, maybe this one would win there. But yeah, another great issue. I've been really enjoying this. I don't know a whole lot about Spawn. This has been my first Spawn book I've ever read, and maybe people will be like, oh, that's not a great first one to read. I've really been enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. So that's all our comics for the week. And like I said, I think this was a very solid week. I just don't think it quite gets the last week. I think it's definitely our second best comic book Wednesday of the year. But if this is how the year is starting off with 2 weeks just like this of just absolute insanity, I think we're in for a very great year for comics. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video and seeing all the comics that I picked up, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then definitely turn on that notification bell so you never miss another episode. But great comics this week. If you guys like some more content like this, I'm starting to ramp up some stuff over on Instagram. Starting to post a few more pictures. I actually picked up our very first Invincible issue, which that's kind of going to be something I'm looking to get into more. I love Invincible, love the show, read a little bit of the comics, but I'm actually working on getting all of the issues ever made. So maybe not all the variants, but definitely all the cover A's for Invincible. So I picked up my very first one of those. So if you guys want to see which one I picked up, make sure to go follow me over on Instagram. You can definitely find that down in the description below. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next week for another Comic Book Wednesday.